Today, I'm going to share with you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly of Azure Standard. Hey you guys, welcome back to Heartway Farms. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Today I'm going to take this opportunity to sit down and chat with you guys about all of the different products that I've purchased from Azure, as well as kind of my overall experience so far. I'm several orders in. I've had a little bit of experience with the process, and I just want to share that with all of you so that you guys can have some insight before you get started with your Azure Standard journey. Okay, if you are looking for a particular product, you can definitely check out the timestamps below. I'm going to break it down by category, but you might want to stick around just in case, like I did when I began researching Azure Standard. I learned all sorts of fun things just by watching other people and what they had purchased, what they liked, and I was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to try buying hibiscus flowers, you know, that kind of thing. So definitely stick around, and hopefully this will give you a little bit more information than you had before. First, I'm going to start with oils. Okay, from Azure Standard, I have bought 2 different oils, and so far I love both of them. I have bought the Azure brand organic olive oil and the Azure brand avocado oil. I have used only a little bit of the olive oil because we go through that more slowly, but the avocado oil, I already have put that back on my order. I bought a gallon of it 2 months ago maybe, and I need to get some more. I'm only like halfway through that, but I don't want to run out. We use that for all sorts of things. You can use it for cold salad dressings, for cooking in your cast irons, for seasoning your cast irons. It has a high smoke point, and it can handle that hot heat of a cast iron, so I highly recommend using that in your cast irons. I love it, and I know you guys will too, so I highly recommend both of those oils. Second, let's talk about the different flowers that I have purchased, okay? I have bought 2 different kinds of flowers from them, and I've got my orders and my notes in front of me so I don't mess up anything here. So from my first order, I bought because it was recommended by one of you, it's such a title here, this is why I have to read it. Central Milling Artisan Baker's Craft Unbleached White Wheat Flour Organic. Oh my goodness, what a title. They need to come up with something shorter. But I love this flour, and it's been really good. Now, I will say, if you guys have been a part of our Heartway Farms family for any period of time, one of our favorite breads to make is our homemade crusty bread in our Dutch ovens. This flour does not cooperate as much as an organic all-purpose flour. Instead of my loaves looking, you get those beautiful crevices on top with the crust of that crusty bread. For some reason, when I use this flour, it doesn't quite turn out. The bread tastes just as good, but it doesn't look as good. I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's probably just how all the different parts of the flour and how it's broken down and all of that. But love the flavor and the texture, and everything else that we have used this flour for has been wonderful, and we've been very happy with it. The second flour that we have purchased is just the Azure Market Organics all-purpose flour. So far, so good. No issues, no complaints. Both of these flours are very affordable, and I have been very happy with them overall. I would order both again, but like I said, I think just like with any flour, you kind of decide, you learn which products or which baked goods do better with certain flours. And so I'm wanting to try some whole wheat flour on my next order. So yeah, I will give you an honest review of that once I try that. Next, let's talk about sugar. The only sugar that I have purchased so far from Azure is the Azure Markets Organics cane sugar, 50 pounds. Love it. This is the prettiest, I know this doesn't matter, but this is the prettiest sugar that I have ever bought. And it is it's large crystal, so you definitely keep that in mind. If you needed something fine, you would have to run this sugar through a food processor. But so far we have had no issues at all, but it's just gorgeous. It is gorgeous sugar, and we've been really happy with the quality. I would definitely buy it again. The price is the best that I have found out there compared to Country Life or other places. The cost of this is very affordable. Great product. Okay, next let's talk baking powder. When I originally put in my first order, I really wanted to buy the Rumford aluminum-free baking powder, and it was unavailable, and it is still unavailable for me unless I want to buy the 50-pound bag. So I'm kind of deciding whether or not to do that, but even that was low on stock. So you guys must all be buying the Rumford baking powder. So when I couldn't get the one that I wanted, Azure's website brings up recommendations for you. And so I purchased the Azure brand of baking powder. So far, I am not liking this product. I feel bad saying that, but I want to give you an honest review. It was recommended to me by one of you guys, and I really do appreciate that. And I'm hoping that my experience is a fluke in that, and I don't want to speak negatively about anything that I don't know for sure. But so far, we have been having issues with using this baking powder. I've used it in banana bread, and it was very dense and I have made banana bread more times than I can count in my life, and I have never had an issue like I had when we used this baking powder. We've also made other pancakes and different things like that, and they end up being dense and not fluffy and not rising properly. Julianne made ladyfingers yesterday. Again, we had the same issue. They didn't rise properly. So I am not recommending the Azure brand of their baking powder. Please, 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 if you have had a wonderful experience with this product, please tell me in the comments below, because I would rather you prove me wrong and encourage people to support Azure than the opposite. So, but I want to be honest, because when you're spending money, especially right now, when everything is so expensive and everything is, you're picking and choosing what you're investing in, I want to be honest with people. So far, I will not order the Azure baking powder again. Okay, let's move on to canned goods. I actually haven't bought very much from Azure, but when I was putting in my first order, I did scroll through the sales site on their website, and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. If you guys haven't checked out our video on how to make homemade cream of chicken soup, we can link that here. But I also like to have some store-bought cream of chicken soup for convenience and just for those quick meals when we're busy. It's springtime on the farm, we're very busy. And so I saw that the Pacific brand of cream of chicken soup was on sale at Azure. So I picked that up, and it is delicious. It's amazing. It tastes like the most natural, delightful version of the traditional cream of chicken soup can, that you buy from any store. Something about it just tastes so real, and I really appreciate that. Great ingredients, a great product to have shelf steady down in your root cellar, in your pantry, so I highly recommend it. All right, let's talk about dairy. I've only purchased 2 dairy items from Azure Standard so far, and so far they have both been amazing. One is Nancy's sour cream. I bought the 6-pack of that, and we have been working through that over the last 2 months. It has not gone bad. I haven't had issues with it. It is really thick, really nice sour cream. It is delicious. We've been so happy with it. Great ingredients, which I love. The second product is the raw cheddar cheese, the Azure raw cheddar cheese. I have bought that twice, and it is also really good. It's not a hard cheddar, it's a very soft cheddar, which reminds me more of like a mozzarella, even the flavor. So if you don't like strong cheeses, this would be a perfect cheese for you, because the flavor is mild, the texture is easy to work with, easy to cut. Most raw cheddar cheeses are hard, and especially if they're like a sharp cheese or something. Very hard to grate, hard to cut. This is a very soft cheese, and I will continue to buy this because the ingredients are amazing and the quality is very good, and it has been a hit with my entire family. Same thing with the sour cream. So both of those are good. So next, let's talk about bread items, or prepackaged bread type of items. I have bought 3 of those things. I have bought the Stacy's tortillas. I have bought the Alvarado Street Bakery bagels, and that same brand of the hot dog buns. 2 out of 3 in this category. So the Stacy's tortillas are are the best tasting tortillas that I have ever had, in my opinion. They taste real and the ingredients are super clean and I really like them. I will continue to buy them. We also, make our own tortillas, but it's wonderful to have these in the freezer. The only thing I don't like about them, and I just want to be upfront about it, is if you don't baby them a little bit, they do break apart into little pieces. So like if you're putting them in the freezer, don't toss something heavy on top of them. You need to kind of like have a separate little area for your Stacy's tortillas so that they don't get crushed and break into pieces, and then they're kind of hard to use. But as long as you take care of them, you keep them in the freezer, they thaw great, they taste great, everybody likes them. It's wonderful for a quick, easy meal if we don't have time to make homemade tortillas. I will continue to buy them, and it has been a hit in our family. Second, the bagels, the Alvarado Street bagels. We have purchased the sprouted wheat bagels and the sprouted cinnamon raisin bagels. I have bought the 6-pack case twice and they are so good. I was talking to Marie the other day, and we both have said that they are the best tasting bagels. And even though they're healthy, sometimes you get that cardboard texture with healthy breads. You do not get that with these. They are so good. You keep them in the freezer, you bring out a package at a time and thaw them out, and they are delicious. Everybody likes them in our house. And you do have to cut them. They don't come pre-cut, so that's kind of an inconvenience. But in my family, William in particular loves his bagels. And there are not any organic bagels like super accessible to us, at least with the stores locally that I know about, all the big box stores. And so every time I would buy him bagels, I would think, these ingredients aren't good. It's not good quality flour. It's not, And so when I found these bagels and he likes them, I had to jump on it. And I'm like, I will keep these in the house. It is worth the $5 a pack to have healthy, good quality bagels in the house that he enjoys. It's a super quick, easy breakfast. Highly recommend it. You guys need to add it to your cart today. Okay, we also tried the same brand, the Alvarado Street Bakery hot dog buns. Now, we loved them in the bagel form, but not so much in the hot dog bun form, okay? The hot dog buns taste the same as the bagels, but it makes for like a dense hot dog bun. It works great in the bagel world, not great in the hot dog bun world. So I did buy a 6-pack of that. I don't mind them, and Julianne doesn't mind them, but the rest of the family does not really enjoy them. So those aren't good odds to me. I need more people to enjoy them if I'm gonna be spending the money on it. Great ingredients, great quality of food. Again, I like them. And I would buy them just for me and Julianne, but it's just not worth it to buy it in bulk if not everyone's gonna go through them. Now they're gonna take up a lot of space in my freezer because they have to remain frozen, and I don't really want to do that. So I probably won't buy the hot dog buns again, but I still kind of recommend them if you want a good quality option for your family. Just be aware that you're not gonna get a nice fluffy textured hot dog bun if you order those. All right, let's talk coffee. On my first order with Azure, I tried a couple different of the Equal Exchange coffees that they offer, different flavors, to see what I liked or what I didn't like. So then the next time I ordered, I chose to go ahead and get the 10 pounds of the Equal Exchange Mind, Body, and Soul whole bean coffee. And I just have really been enjoying it. I have no complaints about it. I was looking to make a step up decision in the coffee world, moving from Dunkin' to maybe an organic whole bean option. And really, Dunkin' Donuts has raised their prices in the last few months so high that it's not really a price difference anymore between the organic Equal Exchange and Dunkin'. And I really like it. So I have no complaints. I have coffee to last me a while. I don't have to go to the store to go get it because we ran out. So I have a good stockpile of that down in the root cellar, and I would highly recommend it. I used to buy Equal Exchange directly from Equal Exchange, but it's nice to do it through Azure. It's just very convenient to have it in with all my other items. So many of you guys have recommended other coffee brands. I definitely would like to go check those out, but for now I'm happy with Equal Exchange. The next two items are kind of standalone items. They don't really fit into a category, so I'm just gonna keep them separate. We ended up purchasing, because one of you guys recommended it, a bulk pack of hibiscus flowers. And I will tell you what, Julianne has been going through those way too quickly, but they are amazing and beautiful and make wonderful tea. She likes to put the petals in a half-gallon glass mason jar, stick it out in the sun and make a sun tea to just really get all that nutrition into that water. And she has been enjoying it so much. She's been using it for hot tea, cold tea, making lip balm. She's been doing all sorts of things. So I would absolutely recommend the hibiscus flowers dried, and they have been a huge hit, and I will probably have to get those again for Julianne because she will make me. So that was a good choice. Okay, the next product that we bought was the Azure Market Onion Soup Mix, and it can be used for a dip. So I told you about that sour cream that we bought. I have put that soup mix into the sour cream and made a homemade French onion dip. It is so good. I have also used that onion mix to put over the top of a whole chicken when I'm roasting it in the oven. It was recommended to me to put it in with ground beef when I can my ground beef to give it some extra flavor, and it is so good. And you do really go through it pretty slowly. I bought the 3-pack and I still haven't made it through 1-pack, even though we have used it several times. So it is delicious, great ingredients. It's nice, easy seasoning to just throw on anything, and I think you guys will really like it, so go check that out. Okay, the last category that I'm gonna give you guys is animal grains or animal feed. This is something that I want to pursue with Azure, and something I want to pursue on our farm instead of going to the local Rural King, which we love and support, and we will always do that. They are an amazing company, and we buy our chicken feed from there and all of our feed for the animals there. It's a lot to haul, and I wanted to look into upgrading our feed for our animals. So I checked out Azure's prices, and if I soak my grains, if you soak your grains for your animals, you get about double, and so it lasts you longer. So even though you're spending more money on animal grain dry, you soak it, it stretches that for you so that it's still in budget. Well, I have tried. This is kind of an ugly part. I really, spoiler alert, I love Azure so far, and I'll get to more of that in a minute, but one of the challenging parts, or the ugly parts that I will say, is that sometimes it's really hard to get some of the products, and no matter what you do, they're out of stock. And so, I have only been doing Azure orders for a few months, so that's all I can base it off of, but there's some products that I haven't been able to get, and animal feed has been one of those products. So on my last order, I wanted to test out my new system. I wanted to get wheat bran, because it's a high protein source for animals. I wanted to get sorghum, and I wanted to get barley, and I wanted to take those 3 different grains, mix them up, and soak them and feed them to my chickens, and kind of start creating my own chicken food, because these type of grains are unavailable to me. I at least haven't found them locally. You can find corn, you can find oats, but a lot of them are not organic. Anyway, so I still want to try to accomplish this through Azure. But on my last order, the only thing that shipped, even though I had stuff in my cart, the only thing that shipped was the wheat bran. And so it's still sitting out in my barn waiting. I kind of wanted to wait and create a mix, because one of these grains is a standalone. Yes, it's a supplement, that's fine, but I was trying to create a whole, good, nutritious food for my chickens, and I can't do that if I can't get the grain. So this will lead us into some of the challenge. Some of the things I like and some of the things that I don't like. So I'm going to call this a company review. So Azure Standard as a company, when you go on their website, I love what they stand for. I love that in the history they talk about going through the ups and downs of the farming lifestyle and the trends over time. How when everyone was moving to conventional farming, well, that's just what you did, so everybody did that. Everybody depleted the soil. Everybody sprayed chemicals on the soil. GMOs and all these awful things that we are now paying the price for as as the world in the quality of food and allergies and in sickness and disease and all these things because of the choices that we've made in the farming world. Well, they said, they started doing that and realized that it was not beneficial and pulled away from popular systems and said, no, enough's enough. We're going to go the organic route, the natural route, the hard route, right? Any of you guys who have a garden or you have a homestead or farm, you know that doing it the right way is way harder than just spraying Roundup on it, right? But in good conscience, you can't do that. You can't put that stuff in your food. So anyway, I loved reading their story and what they stand for and how they're trying to kind of gather together, which is our tagline, for Heartway Farms. They're trying to gather together all of these different small-scale farmers and companies and organizations and work together as a unit to provide good quality food for people across the United States, which is super awesome, and we want to support that. And as a company, this is what drives me to support Azure. Not only is the world kind of a hot mess right now, it's when that happens, when those things come up, it's just wonderful to find people that are trying to do things well and do them right. So as a company, I definitely want to say that I support Azure as a company. Before I placed my first Azure Standard order, I did some digging and research, and I did a video on some of the challenges that come up when shopping with Azure Standard. If you have not seen that, please watch this video before you make your first purchase so that you are not confused, so you are not caught off guard when you understand that there are very specific tips and tricks when it comes to ordering from Azure. And one of those tricks is not being able to get the things that you have ordered. You can put things in your cart, you can close your order, and you still may not get those items. And I think that is my least favorite part about the Azure process. It's a challenge that you have to understand, but sometimes, most things you can get other places, which is okay. But for me, when I'm trying to pursue the, switching over my animal feed options, and suddenly I want to use Azure. I want to give them my money. I want to support them. But then the grain doesn't come. I can't do that. So it's a little bit disheartening. Like it makes you like, oh, well, shoot, I got to come up with a different option because this isn't consistent. And, with inflation situations and with, some shortages that have been happening and may continue here as we move into harvest season, I'm concerned that it's going to even get harder for me to get those grains. So I need to come up with another option. So love Azure as a company, don't love that things are a little bit inconsistent, out of stock, and more challenging. And, it's just good to be aware of it. The more that Azure grows, I think the more challenges that will come up. Now, hopefully they can pull in some more people and be able to take care of this increase and bring in more farmers and vendors to be able to fulfill that need that is out there. And last but not least, I want to talk about the Azure Standard community. I am new to the Azure Standard community, but in that short amount of time, I have realized how wonderful you guys are, all of you who support Azure, and those people that I have met in person at my Azure Standard drop. The coordinator, she's amazing, she's organized. Just the community behind it and the philosophy behind it, that whole community is wonderful. People are swapping recipes and products that they like and helping each other, and everyone's unloading the truck together, and everyone's talking and getting to know one another. And that part is beautiful. And I think anytime you see something that is happening that is good and right and worthy, it's good to talk about and it's good to support despite the challenges. So even though I kind of get frustrated with the process, I still will continue to support Azure. I'm actually looking at possibly bringing a drop location out our way because there's nothing close by, but that's in the works. So I definitely support Azure, and I will continue to order from them. Appreciate their philosophies. And so far, So many of the products are so good. I'm excited to try some new ones coming up here in my next order. So I'll keep you guys updated on all of that. But I mean, really, out of all of the products that I've purchased, I'm only having challenges with 2. And one is just a personal preference, the hot dog buns. But that's pretty good to me. I mean, we are not wasting anything. We're putting everything in long-term storage, and we are really enjoying it as a family. So I hope this review was helpful. Definitely go check out our other videos about Azure Standard, and I will continue to keep you guys in the loop about what I purchase and the process and how it's all going. And yeah, so we appreciate you all. Please hit that subscribe button. We love having interactions with our Heartway Farms family. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all soon.